All right, let's take a look at headlines very quickly this morning. We'll take it straight from the Punch newspaper, front and center. 432 billion naira probe. EFCC detains El-Rufai. DSS on standby. Ex-governor grilled by EFCC as federal government files charges over alleged NSA phone tapping. Also here, federal government to borrow 800 billion naira via February bonds. Arrest made after 2 die on Lagos film set. Food inflation falls to 14-year low. And also here, National Assembly eyes January 16th for presidential poll. Suspends electoral bill harmonization. Straight to Daily Trust, the top story, EFCC detains El-Rufai. And also here, goods destroyed as residents protest against northerners in rivers. 100 U.S. personnel equipment arrive Bauchi. United States freezes assets of 8 Nigerians over Boko Haram membership, cybercrime. Look out for Ramadan. Crescents today. Sultan urges Muslims. On Nigerian Tribune, federal government charges El-Rufai over NSA phone interception. Protesters storm Kaduna Assembly, demand update on his probe. U.S. sanctions 8 Nigerians over links to Boko Haram, ISIL, cybercrimes. Alafin calls for urgent action in 3 Kwara communities over terror threats. And also here, NRS announces phased rollout of e-invoicing electronic fiscal system. DHQ announces arrival of 100 U.S. troops. On The Guardian, 2027, protesters storm National Assembly as debate on Electoral Act resumes. Kwankwansia defectors, APC adopt 60-40 formula in Kano. Rising insecurity heightens concerns in South-South. FCT polls, ADC berates weaker over war threats. 70% of Nigerians living with epilepsy untreated, says experts. And on the Daily Sun, U.S. freezes assets of 8 Nigerians over alleged Boko Haram ISIL links. Soldiers kill 2 suspected terrorists in Ondo, raid hideouts in Benue. 14 die in boat mishap in Kebbi. Inflation eased to 15.1% in January as food prices dropped, according to the MBS. And lastly, here on Daily Sun, electoral reform, NAS takes final decision on real-time transmission. 19 other clauses as harmonization committee meets.
Vanguard, Electoral Act, hide-and-seek game in Abuja as reps avoid joint meeting. EFCC quizzes El-Rufai over alleged 432 billion naira fraud. 3 South Africans charged over murder of Nigerian boat driver. Visa fraud overstays by Nigerians may attract stricter scrutiny, US warns. This one says 2027 NSCIA demands review of election timetable. And moving over to The Nation, El-Rufai faces 2-year jail for alleged cybercrime offenses. DSS files charges. Ex-minister detained after hours of grilling. Nigerian firm CGI seals deal with Indian group RCPL. General Musa explains presence of U.S. military, DHQ, 100 troops in Bauchi. Inflation eases to 15.10%. Arrested insurgents found with 37 million naira cash. NRS deepens e-invoicing. Moving over to this day. EFCC detains El-Rufai as DSS files cybercrime charges. Oil sector, RMAFC panel recommends state of emergency forensic audit, derivation revenue adjust. Amopiton wants staff not to fail at duty. INEC hires 1,132 vehicles for FCT election. Moving over to Blueprint. 2027 general elections. INEC consults over Ramadan overlap. NAS holds emergency session Tuesday. We are sensitive to all legitimate concerns, says Commission. China-based Beesman, 2 Angolans excrete 236 cocaine pellets at Kano Airport. Terrorism. U.S. delivers military supplies to Nigeria. And Dume hails as troops foil attack on Boka. Again, Kano single market raise, 7 killed, 5 billion naira property destroyed. Tinubu orders probe, Governor Yusuf visits scene. Police rescue abducted Benue worshippers arrested 4 suspects. 3 died, 4 injured in Ebonyi illegal mining pits collapse. And this one says Murtala's assassination at 50. Emergence, leadership, style, and legacies. Last one, The Matrix. We will win battle against insecurity, says Tinubu. Hails Ribadu as a good NSA amid face-off with El-Rufai. DHQ, 100 U.S. military personnel trainers have arrived in Nigeria. U.S. freezes assets of 8 Nigerians over terror, cybercrime links. Tinubu hails Nigeria-UAE partnership as EUA seals landmark MOU with Abu Dhabi Ports and Maya Group. Third FX window for import duty valuation. Customs breaks silence. Nigeria's inflation rate slows to 15.10% in January. Protesters return to National Assembly, demand real-time election results. And lastly, FG slams free count charge against El-Rufai in Abuja court.
All right, thank you, Oji, for those headlines. Mr. Chilaka, let's come straight to you with this Nasir El-Rufai debacle. Former Kaduna State Governor has been in the news over his, shall we say, situation, right? He came back from Cairo, was almost arrested at the airport. He was defended by his supporters. And then somehow he said he was going to go to EFCC yesterday, being Monday. On arrival there, it turns out they've detained him and they're currently carrying out a probe of a certain 432 billion naira, which the Kaduna State ad hoc committee that basically investigated the spending of that sum has put forth. What's your reaction to the current debacle, especially at a time where some people are accusing the same governor, Malam El-Rufai, of abducting them, if we can use that, and using high-handed tactics while in power?
I'm not excited at all. Neither am I impressed. El-Rufai is being detained because he's in ADC. I'm sure if he remained in APC, he will still be walking around. So it's just the usual, hunting of opposition. If they want to arrest, there are a lot of people in APC that need to be arrested. So we should stop that drama. For me, they are witch hunting. That's what they're doing. If they want to really arrest people, they should go for all of them. He's not the only one. Wike is walking around. He has baggages. He has cases. Why is he not being arrested?
So let's come to you, Dr. Obasi, very quickly. I mean, Mr. Chilaka is saying that lots of people within the ruling All Progressives Congress should be up for arrest. So the question is, who arrests them if the ruling party is the one making the arrests?
The truth of the matter is that I feel the government in power actually fell into El-Rufai's trap. I'm telling you the truth. I feel El-Rufai, actually led them into this booby trap of trying to, metamize El-Rufai. At the end of the day, we didn't know El-Rufai, was coming into the country. But they made an attempt to arrest him. Today, everybody is now beginning to say, like Mr. Chilaka is saying, are you arresting El-Rufai? What about others in your own fold? So, El-Rufai, for me, it's an error. If they take El-Rufai to prisons tomorrow, they will mystify El-Rufai the more. Unfortunately, all of them in the corridors are as corrupt as the other person is. So you cannot tell us El-Rufai has done something that I didn't want. And you can see the rhetoric El-Rufai posted the other day concerning thallium sulfate.
Sulfate, yeah.
So you could see El-Rufai is just enjoying the hype. Eventually, he is trying to draw attention to himself. And they've made the mistake. Again, he will be let off, when he goes to court, they will grant him bail. So you have more offshore opportunities to talk. What would you do? The matter is in court. So you gather more mosque, you'll be a rolling mosque that gathers stone. That's the simple truth.
Well, that's a great assessment, Oji. What's your take?
What do you make of his tapping of the NSA's boss?
For me, that's not an issue.
It's not an issue, but he's been charged.
That's not an issue.
Weeks of 2 years in jail.
Clinton's email was tapped. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Trump's email. Do you know why presidents go, to hotels to meet face to face? Because of phone hacking. So he just brought something we all know that happened.
Isn't that illegal? A whole NSA boss.
That's a trap.
So let's put this in perspective. Now, according to the interview which he granted to another station, he said, he clarified at the end that someone had tapped the NSA line. That it's not just the government that can listen in. So He did not claim responsibility for tapping it, but he said that someone did, and they overheard it. But the concern now is he has not come out to debunk whether he did it or not, or he didn't do that during that
That's
interview.
why I said he led them into a booby trap, and they fell into it.
How are they the ones falling into it? Now they have a fresh charge.
Of course, they should have actually allowed that thing to slide. You have a case with EFCC. I mean, DSS went to arrest him without any formal arrest warrant. Now you've turned around to look at what he said to a television station on 13th of February. Now you now use that against him. So why were you trying to arrest him earlier?
No, it just simply shows it's a witch hunt. They're looking for things to hold.
And also they brought the case of Dati.
They should see. I listened to Obasani, who says that the probe should be holistic.
Yeah.
Both human rights and financial misappropriation. They should bring it, and you called the Ganduje into that matter.
So let's put this emerging matter into perspective. So let's look at the charges, like the issues at hand. So El-Rufai is seeking clarity from the office of the NSA on the issue of procurement and importation of thallium sulfate, which is supposed to be a highly poisonous substance, colorless, odorless. He's asking, could you explain what happened? On the flip side, now he went on the TV program and said, we know what they're saying, we've been listening. So people are saying that even if he wasn't the one who tapped the phone line of the NSA, he should have gone ahead to report. Because that's illegal. Reports that he was overhearing conversations. So they're saying he's between a rock and a hard place. It's still hard anyway. So Mr. Chilaka, at what point we get, some kind of clarity on this matter?
The government itself is not responsible. I mean, so they, like you said, they open a lot of window for people to do what they want to do. As a government, if you want to, hold people accountable for things, you have to be accountable yourself.
Exactly.
So they're doing a lot of substandard things, illegal practices, corrupt practices, denial of activities that people are clearly seeing that they're doing. There are a lot of people that have been convicted. Where are they? They're walking the street. So I don't like to watch their drama. We're just giving them time. They don't deserve my time and energy to talk about things like this, because these are they're fraudulent people. It's the same thing going on over and over again. If that man moves back to APC, his sins are forgiven. So why do I have to wait?
We should be concerned that a person like El-Rufai would have so many secrets, lodged inside of his head, that if they go against him the way they're going against him, it's going to spill so many pains.
You see, I always say that one day Nigeria will
implode.
Yeah, if it implode. We're going to revolt from inside. So one day, as they continue to commit the crime, some of them will turn against the rest, and that will just give us what we want.
There's going to be a case of...
They're going to purge themselves.
Is it also the channel of implosion? Because bringing it to Vanguard right here, Electoral Act hide and seek game in Abuja as reps avoid joint meeting. The whole back and forth in transmission, transfer and transmission case, has been going back and forth, and the protest is still out there, at NAS. What do you make of this, as Vanguard pointed out here, hide and seek game by our lawmakers, not to impute the will of people in the act, and literally, as they stated, that transfer and transmission is almost the same thing.
You see, as a younger person, I thought the people in the house as well. But I had opportunities as I get older to talk with them. I realized that these people are really intelligent.
Very intelligent.
But their negative intentions, masks, the right action. They know what is right. It's just like the demonstration going on about they know what. But they have to, they're standing on a mandate. You know what I mean? They have to stand on that mandate. There's an instruction that we don't do this, we don't do that. As far as you've keyed in as a human being into such lines, that's why people like us are not in politics. I will not key in. I will not key. You understand?
So how do you think it turn out at the end of the day? Because we are insisting, protesters are still out there and outside NAS, insisting that they must real-time transfer or transmit this result come 2027 election. But as Vanguard stated, they're playing hide and seek game and don't want to conform.
I think the ruling political party is just diverting the attention and then making the opposition, making the foolishness of the opposition. Whether I have real time or no real time, if anybody that wants to rig election will rig, because election is a process. Let me give you an example. There was nothing that would have made Labour Party to have won Northwest in 2023 election. If you remember, by February 19th, 2023, all the members of Labour Party, their agent, the people contesting the election from the Northwest, they camped into APC. That means that that place is blinded to Labour Party. Whatever goes on there, you don't know.